It's Friday morning for me. Not 11 p.m. for those of the YouTube realm who were wondering why we're going to do a late night show. Just sometimes you do the toggle and the toggle doesn't toggle. And I don't have time to check it. You all check it. Hey, everybody, it's Anytime with Ken and Alden. I'm Ken. That's Alden. Hi, buddy.
Hey, man, make sure you check your toggle, man. You got to check that toggle. You guys got to make sure your toggle's right.
Always check the toggle.
Oh, man.
So, what are we doing? Tell me.
What a week, man. What a week. Everything that we ever thought was true. Some version of it is true.
Right.
Want to act like stuff isn't true. The president's posting racist AI.
Again,
we're not going to punish anybody for selling and capturing children. All casual, very chill, very chill.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a week where we decided, are we going to spend 2 hours talking about how people definitely need to get got, or are we going to hang out? And so what I decided is to break glass in case of emergency and do a Q&A, which we've never actually done, which is surprising.
We haven't. Okay. We haven't done. Okay. I thought maybe
never
we did.
On this show.
Okay.
No.
Happy to do it.
I mean, we're gracious and wonderful enough to answer questions all the time.
Right.
But we have never actually opened the floor in such a way.
Agree that. My autofocus is out, and I'm about to throw this goddamn camera into the backyard and stomp on it with a rap song. So, yeah, see, I don't have anyone else in the house. Okay, so it's focused right there. Sorry. Is this ADHD?
I think people would probably like watching you destroy it.
I don't know if y'all would.
It might be.
But it's also, it drives me crazy as a professional. There, so right there, we're focused. We're focused right there. You can see the DJ Bruja hat. And now it's out of focus.
Yep.
Alden, what's happening?
Woke. This is the fault of wokeness, clearly.
I got a woke camera. It doesn't want you to clearly see DJ Bruja's hat that she gave to me, and you all should support Dorina and her brand. Get her hat and other merch that she has.
Indeed.
All right. We are also delayed by about 2 seconds here, so we're still dealing with that problem. We need to start a fund to get you a new computer and me a new camera. That's what we need to do.
Well, it's just like that seems to be the only. It really like sucks the fun out of this for me. Like since we're just talking about whatever, I will just say it sucks the fucking fun out of this for me on such a real level that everything fucking works all the fucking time, except when I need it to work. And blah blah blah. That's everybody with everything. But the fact that this shitty website that we're forced to use literally is always working with zero problem, and that there was no delay right before we go live, and then we put it on because they want to enshitify it with garbage that nobody needs. I've gone on this rant before, but it's pissing me the fuck off, because if we had less dignity, I probably could convince a bunch of these knapsack fans to buy us a bunch of new technology, but we have too much dignity for that. Everybody now is just like, oh, fund me, just send me this, send me that. Pay for this, pay for that. And it's like, I've never wanted to have that relationship with people. I've never asked anybody to do free work. It's like I did 100 and however many episodes of my Star Wars show with Charlie Ashby, one of my best friends, doing graphics, and I paid him every single time. And now it's like nothing fucking works. And it's like, what are your options? You have no options.
Yeah, because if you go, it's the computer issue, it's the audio, and then like all my text going, all your text starting to go. For me to edit the audio version of a podcast, sometimes takes 40 minutes Well, I mean, I'm not talking about edit because I don't edit out ums and ahs and all that stuff. I don't care about that. But the downloading and the exporting and the uploading now is just a 40 to 45-minute process. People ask why on Star Wars Ranked on Force Center, why don't you guys put pictures and stuff on there for the video version? That's a 2-hour add to my workflow because nothing works. Nothing works.
And with what time? Like, are people like? I'm not trying to poo-poo. I'm not gonna start a fight with hypothetical Force Center listeners that I don't know, but it's just like in general, people are always like, "Why don't you just?" I have the same hours in a day that you do. I have the same hours in a day that you do.
What I'll say is,
people should be able to answer that for themselves.
Right. It's also it's not the core Force Center. It's YouTube people that swing through. The core Force Center people like get what we do. It's people just, I love your show, but why don't you put pictures on? Well, cool. I run 9 channels just to get 40% of the income I need to survive. Why don't you put pictures on my videos for me?
Yeah.
Anyways, we do have Super Chat coming in, and that's great. Oh, that's a question. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we'll get some questions. We're going to get some questions. If you have a question, it's not just it. It's also, not going to be a grumpy episode. Well, maybe it'll be grumpy. I mean, we're grumpy. But we're going to take your questions. If you got specific questions for us, we're here for about another 55 minutes or plus. You get to ask us anything you want. How about that?
Indeed.
I sell it.
Literally anything. We won't answer everything. That's the thing about AMAs that people don't understand. There is no contract of you will get an answer, but there is open topic availability is the better way to put it.
There you go. Jared says Dreamer has also bloated out the audio files for me. It used to be fine for me to download 2+ hour episode from my MP3 from StreamYard and just put it on Squarespace, but now it doesn't work. Why? I mean, I don't have a 2-hour plus episode of anything ever. That's the first thing I would say.
Yeah, that's a young man's game. Yeah, that's a young man's game right there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer, Jared. All right. Now I went back into focus. Jesus. H. Boopenheim, questions for us. Vulcan Nerd says a lot of people don't know or don't think through it closely. I'm guilty. There's too many people who don't do all that stuff. I have no idea behind the scenes. I know. I don't. I got a question. All right, so I'm gonna favorite this one. I'm favoriting the questions. Do you favorite questions? No, JMP, you're fine. You're fine. I don't expect people to know. It's just what the problem is. I think with this social media kind of world, or this digital media world, the idea of you're supposed to create this like, hey, I just grabbed my camera and shot type of atmosphere versus what I used to do in radio, what Alden used to do in radio. Like, we don't want that. That's not sincere. That's too official. And what I released a short yesterday, a little tiny short. I liked it. Not a lot of people liked it, apparently. Didn't do big numbers. And that took me 2 hours. Right? That's 2 hours of shooting, one take. I didn't even do another take. Did some cut-ins, then export, edit, all that stuff. 2 hours. 2 hours.
Yeah, it's you guys, the people that listen to the pods and that like you guys have no earthly idea how the swan dive that it has taken. Even in we don't even need to go on the whole arc of like everything that you've seen in the digital media space. You could literally just go from COVID to now. The change that has happened in the way things work, in the availability of things, in the ability to book people, in the way PR is running things, in the way that tech prices have all gone up, in the way that every program we used to use is now $5, $10, $15 more a month. And it is all so much worse, where I was way more prolific at a certain point than I am now, for life reasons as well, but also because they have made it arduous and fucking annoying to get any of this stuff done. And the only people that are getting stuff done are the people in the influencer class that they have coddled and protected and packaged as being able to do this, but actually can't fucking do it, and have whole teams and 30 fucking jump cuts to say a 60-second thought ends up being like an entire project. And then these people are being flown to different countries and different. It's a fucking sham. and it has ruined the entire fucking thing. It has ruined this entire game in so many ways. But that's not the fault of any of you. You're asking some fun questions.
You got some great questions today. Should we get into questions here? First one from Malcolm Super Chat. Obscure essayist. As someone prepping a cross-country move, I want to know your best and worst hotel experiences. Since I'll have to make new friends in this new state, how do you go about making friends as an adult? Those are big questions there. Alden, what's your longest move? You've moved cities.
Yeah, I mean, I've moved cities. I moved a lot when I was a kid within one city. But then, I moved from Connecticut when I was a kid, like around kindergarten or so I was little, to Florida. And then I've moved within Florida, distances of 4 or 5 hours in different directions. But that type of cross-country move I've never done. So I can't really speak to that. And then for you, it's also been in-state moves.
Yeah. Sometimes a city over. Yeah, no, not far. Yeah, not far.
How long was the move from where your parents are, where you grew up, to LA? I always forget how long that is.
3 hours,
4 hours.
3 hours. Yeah. 3 hours. Which felt like the world. And that was the biggest move. And I had some family in town. But I had 2 friends that I was living with, so that was a good base of operations. But over time, it just became what you're involved in, and that's harder to do now without in upfront community, right? If I was in a move to a new city right now, and I was still doing all these shows, and I get to talk to all you, that's great. But I would never have I'd have to really make an effort to leave and go to a bar or go to a gym or go join a chess club or something to meet people, because I met them all through work. I met them all through going to comedy classes. That's where a lot of my friends came from. So I wish I had a happier answer.
Yeah, I think that the making friends is an
everything
adult
completely
thing. Oh, did we?
Yeah,
you were normal on my end.
Everything on my end went completely blank and swirly. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay.
The way I see you is fine. The way I hear you is fine.
Okay. It was all on my end. Everything just went blank for a while. So anyways, that's my thought. Your thought. How do you make friends?
Why would you need to see that? It's situational. A lot of it, like you said, is you have things in your life, school, jobs, whatever, that those relationships become friendships. And that's honestly the best way, I think. I'm not saying like go become friends with your coworkers, because a lot of the times, one, you can't trust coworkers for a lot of different reasons. One, you are made to not trust each other, and that's much bigger conversation about the way companies are run. But I can get that that's weird for some people. So I would encourage you instead to try to recreate that in other places. If you're at all interested in the arts, that makes it a lot easier. If you're not, though, the library, the comic book store, trying to find local meetups of things, and even if that like feels like, oh, I have to put myself out there, I have to do a task, I have to learn a skill, you can find things. Hopefully, in most places you could find like a screening of this. Literally just watch a movie, and then hopefully, as you're walking out of there, you'll see somebody else who, hey, that person likes what I like. Sometimes you need to remind yourself that you're not alone before you can do that type of work. So that's part of it too. For me, it's been a combination of friends I've held on to since high school that I'm lucky to still have, friends I made sort of in that weird interim early 20s period that doesn't matter, and Star Wars people. Like Ken and I are only friends because of Star Wars originally. Like that's how and why we first crossed paths. First time we ever spoke was I interviewed you for your book. Well, we had met. That's not true. We had met. Then your book came out. The first time we ever recorded together was for your book. Yeah.
You called in a Casually Talk. Yeah. That's where I really first knew of you. Yeah. No, and look, you have the bit
interest.
Yeah. Sorry. What has to happen is when one of us finishes a sentence, you have to count to 2, and then the other person gets to hear it. 1, 2. All right. What the other part of the question is hotels experiences. I've generally got great hotel experiences. Worst ones are traveling on the road, on the cross country trips I had to do, being in like being in Gallup, New Mexico, pulling into like a Motel 6 that was essentially a truck stop. There were some experiences as a kid on vacations. My mom didn't understand where she was booking a hotel, and we went to a hotel in Oakland that was interesting. But that was also a little of my folks being afraid of Reagan's America. So yeah, I'm pretty blessed with hotels. You?
Yeah, I'm not trying to dismiss this part of the question, but I just have to be honest and say this is not something that I think about. It's just not something that I think about. It's like I've been in hotels that have been like utter luxury, and I have been in absolute shitholes, and I don't use the amenities that are available in either. I don't use the minibar that's available. I don't use the like if the air conditioner works and the bed is functional. Like this sounds gross, but like I can see a bug and still not complain. Like if it's out of my way, I truly do not give a shit. I've slept in airports in lieu of a hotel by choice before. I don't give a fuck about this part of travel and life. I'm way more concerned with just being on time to things.
Now, but what about traveling with people? A special partner. Has that ever come up where you've had to, where you might not care about the bug, but obviously they do?
Yeah, I mean, like we've been normal about it. Like I would never be with somebody that would freak out about that type of thing. Maybe not that they wouldn't be afraid of the bug, but I just mean like, my approach to everything is like in the way that I'm not gonna be like, this is not what I ordered. It's like it's really not that big a deal. Like I'll just pop downstairs and be like, hey, can I change rooms? I'm sorry, I don't want to like, because that person, my mentality is that they're being underpaid, they're being screwed, they have nothing to do with this. So I've had experiences that have not been ideal. Like once there was a leak in one of our rooms and we moved, and and we just moved rooms. That's fine. But like I just did not truly care. That being said, I do like being in hotels. I like being on the road, but I don't care really about it. Like I'm not like I don't have a membership with any of these places.
Got to get them points, man. Points are nice. Get them Hilton rewards.
That's all I hear.
Yeah. But what I'm asking though is like, so look, man, if you start dating someone and it gets serious and you really like this person, you kind of don't know this stuff until you head out on the first trip and they're like, hey, can you call the restaurant back? I wanted salt and they gave me pepper. And you might be like, then have the pepper because that's me. But then you find yourself getting in a fight where have you experienced anything like that?
I mean, there have been times where it's like a taste issue just sort of bleeds in and you just realize like this is just a difference that you just have and you're just gonna have to accept that. But yeah, I mean, maybe it's been lucky it just hasn't come up. Now that I travel a lot, but yeah, it has not been an issue that has reared its head so much in my life. But those types of things in general, of your mentality being like, oh, we'll just have the pepper just this once, it doesn't matter, and the other person is like, no, because this reason. Like at that point, I just have to accept that, and I also have to have the self-awareness to know that I have things like that as well. Like I've actually been the opposite, where I remember one time a friend, this wasn't a romantic partner, but a friend of mine, she got the we were going to see Ant-Man back in, so this was 2015. It was a long time ago already. And she got tickets. She's like, oh, I'll get the Ant-Man tickets. I was like, cool. I met up with her. We've known each other since the second grade, just to be clear, so we can bust each other's balls a little bit because I am going to be mean to her in this moment. But I saw her and I'm like, hey, you got the tickets? She goes, yeah. And she hands me 3D glasses. And I was like, are you out of your fucking mind? I was like, don't you know me at all? Why on earth would I want to? I have glasses. Like that's my number one reason for never wanting them is that I have to put them on over my glass. So
true.
For that type of thing, it's like that. I have a valid reason. So maybe people have that with hotels, is what I'm saying. You know, a thing that is very valid to draw a line on.
Yeah, no, 3D, that could be a relationship ender. I get that. And and all this is taken into another realm, but like, I am out of a relationship now, and I've been in relationships solidly since 2006. And I think the one of the great fears I have of a next relationship is when lives collide, as they should. There's going to be differences. You want there to be differences, but some of those little things of like, yeah, but I like sitting in the back row at movie theaters. Is that going to be a problem? Is this going to be an issue? We'll figure it out.
Yeah, and you're like, exactly. Yes. All right. Good starter.
Next one.
Good question starter.
You pick it.
All right. We could just keep going down the line. I'm still not clickable, so I'm just going down the list of things that have been checked here. So the next one would be from Eli, which is a top three ice cream flavors from each of us. Well, I start to pause and stutter here because I start eliminating flavors I hate in my mind first. All the never gonna win this question contestants start getting shot one by one in my mind. So not rum raisin, not mint chocolate chip, like all you degenerates out there. Let me.
That's on my list. My list.
Wow, degenerate
yeah,
confirmed.
I was gonna put it at number 2. And by the way, I'm keeping out of this specific brand. Like I'll do a Ben & Jerry's run. I like fish food. I like the Colbert flavor. I like a lot of that stuff. I like cherry based, but like those are very specific in Ben & Jerry's. I don't think it's fair to what's your favorite flavor? Oh, fish food. Like, well, that's one thing. That's a Ben & Jerry's choice. This is general ice cream stuff.
Yeah, if it's in general, okay. I'm assembling my list here. If you're ready, you can start reading your list. I'm still assembling my 3 here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hold on. I got it here. This might be cheating on my own thing. So I like coming in number 3, cookies and cream. Jared Dark Jedi lists that as well. Especially when you get that big cookie in there, it's like a bonus dessert. 2, mint chip. Now I will go vanilla with vanilla. Not the green, not the fluorescent green. But I'll take that. I've always been partial to mint chip. I just think as a kid, I also love Junior Mints. So I think as a kid, I was just blown away that this is like, wow, could you do this? What's the science behind this? And then number 1, it is kind of specific to Thrifty brand ice cream, but you can get it elsewhere, I'm sure. But anything that's related to chocolate malted crunch. Give me a little malted piece in there, and I'm happy.
Okay. All right. I like that. I also had the cookies and cream. I'm gonna lump cookie dough along with cookies and cream as a share, just like parts of cookie category. I'm going to go with man. This is difficult. I started to hesitate. I think I'm gonna go birthday cake.
Wow.
And then, but my number 1 all-timer, this is kind of a cheat because it's a gelato, and I know they're a special thing. But the stracciatella gelato, that like milky vanilla with the chocolate flake and drizzle that's like throughout. That's like the whole gimmick, is that there's chocolate, sort of like chocolate drizzle and flake and everything, just sort of like it's like vanilla with like chocolate DNA. It's like really weird, like how they get it in there so like fine. It has its own Wikipedia page for like this whole concept of the stracciatella. It was originally created in northern Italy in 1961.
You're a fancy pants. I like this. You're a fancy date and a fancy pants. I'm going to look up this ice cream later, gelato, which, yeah, is different. Different experience. I get that. Look at you. A little soft shoe dancing.
It's different. I got to have it in Italy, Ken. It was life-changing. Life-changing.
I get it. No, that's that. I could totally, there was that, I had that one little meal I had in Paris. I had like one of those little thing. What's the things they always get over there? The fucking things, they're known for it. The French, the things. Anyways, it was a ham and cheese one. No, not the croissant. What's the other? David Mackay will know. David Mackay's a worldly soul. It's the one they always crepe. That's it. Changed my life.
Oh,
everyone. David swinging. He's swinging there solidly with the croissant, but the crepe. And I had a ham and cheese. I had a ham and cheese crepe in the shadow of the Pantheon over there, and it was a life-changing thing.
Nice.
Alden, did you gone over to Paris yet?
What's the next question here? I've physically been in Paris for a labor, but I've never spent time in the city.
Okay, I'd like to see you run around that city. I think you could find yourself there. I could see you with the nice French girl.
There is a 0% chance that I would come back, provided that I could get Mando, my dog, over there. That would be the only thing.
I could see that.
Which I'm assuming I can, because they seem to be chill about pets and stuff.
But they're not chill about people coming in there.
All right.
It's hard. All right. All right. So I know the story. I know the backstory behind this, Alden. This question here from Brady 8984M, or now his username is 889884M. Brady, we got to fix this. Brady asks, have you ever traveled 1,000 plus miles for a person? I know a little bit about this story, but Alden, have you done that?
So are you saying a little bit about what I'm about, or why Brady asked the question?
Why Brady asked the question? Yeah, he is preparing to do this.
Oh, well then I'm so glad you asked, Brady, because I have done this. I went from here in Fort Lauderdale to Chicago. I didn't move for this person, but oh God, can't believe I'm talking about this. Long story short is that my high school best friend and I ended up being more than that. And she went to Chicago and I was still here, and we were doing our separate things and had our separate lives, and it was never really like a thing. Mind you, we're both like 18, 19 when this is going on. So this is just like peak stupidity behavior. And it never clicked. It never got to be a thing. High school was ending and there wasn't enough time for anything and blah, blah, blah. And I really, really, really wanted to go on a date with her finally and be more than friends. And so then I went all the way to Chicago to take her on one date, and we went on the one day, and it was great and it was awesome. But the weekend overall was still a disaster and very painful and blah, 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 blah. And we're cool, I guess. We talked this week, actually. So whatever. But I would say, yes, I've done it. Protect yourself, be selfish with your feelings, etc., etc. Those are my opening caveats.
Oh, fascinating. No, I love it. It's very romantic. It's very, and I encourage it. And Brady, he told a story a little bit on the Blathering yesterday. There's someone he's met, and they spent time in LA together. It has the vibe of we'll probably never see each other again, but he maybe is considering going up to San Francisco to spend time with them. It might cost them money. Might have to swipe a credit card. And I said, do it. I said, you're on your deathbed. You're not gonna be glad you paid your credit card bill on time. You're gonna regret if you don't go experience this weekend. So there's that. So I'm encouraging to do that. I'm gonna stop there, and then because we have this time delay, I'll do another follow-up question to you, Alden. But what do you think so far about Brady's story?
Well, I do think that what you're saying is really true. Ultimately, like I guess I came in kind of negative, and I don't mean to, but what you're saying though is ultimately what has to win out. It is that feeling of like the regret will be so poisonous if you don't go through with it. If you don't at least try, the regret will be. And when I say poisonous, I mean like I need you to understand what I mean, Brady. I mean, it will get into every skin cell. It will get into every thought. It will get into every dream. It will get into the music you are able to listen to. It will ruin you if you don't do it. Now, mind you, if you go through with it and you do it, that could ruin you too. But I would argue that it is better to fall on one sword than to just cower and wonder what it could have been. I mean, like, isn't that the whole point of like isn't that like the St. Crispin's Day? Like, men in England will lie abed and count their manhoods cheap that they were not here to stand with us. Like, that's you kind of owe it to yourself to go. So that's my reply. Now I will wait a couple seconds.
A 1, a 2, a 3, 4. Yeah, no, a great answer. I absolutely think. Now, so the follow-up, and I don't want to give too much of Brady's story, but he did talk about it on the Blathering. Alden, in a hypothetical situation that you take this 1,000+ mile journey to meet someone that, again, life circumstances, she might be moving back to another country, or and by the way, it's both two single people, free people. This isn't like some illicit affair thing. Someone you've connected with, someone you really enjoy, and you know that maybe this is not going to last. You go up there. I know you're a young millennial. And this is a Gen Z question, but you go up there, Alden, you have a nice time, you have a dinner. Are you going to, if the opportunity persists in a consensual environment, to be clear, Gen Zers, are you going to make sweet, sweet love to the dawn, even though this might be the only night?
The phrasing there is fantastic. Fantastic phrasing. Look, you get one life. As the great prophets have said, we're here for a good time, not a long time. And so I think that ultimately, yeah, I mean, like, should all parties be on board and you feel comfortable with that? I mean, you might as well, because again, I don't want to drag darkness into every topic, but like, there truly could not be a better time than to like love freely and dance and sing loudly and be stupid. And like, we kind of have to do that. And so I think it's almost your spiritual imperative to be open to that possibility.
This is okay. This is great because, and again, I'm not forcing anyone to move fast. I'm having a respectful adult conversation, two people connected. Everything about it is consensual. The communication about the situation is fine. Okay, I want to be clear. I'm trying to be careful, caveat, because Gen Z is listening. But in the point of this conversation yesterday, I was reminded that statistically, Gen Z drinking less, fine. Also knocking boots less, which I've heard those reports. Alden, can you explain to me why?
Yes, actually. I'm not going to say this is a blanket reason, but the conservative brain rot campaign to get all the kids and to try to turn them into little Puritans on TikTok and to create a new satanic panic about everything has bled into the art, for one, and has bled into, and I should say, and once it bleeds into the arts world, then that becomes discussions of that sort of connect and have an unholy union with these media illiterate problems that we have, where then you have like if teens are like Is that sex scene really necessary? What did it tell me about the plot? They didn't explain why they were having sex. Then those same people go out and live lives. And then they don't understand that sometimes like passion and intimacy and love are part of the relationship dynamic that you have, and that is saying something about what you have in the way that when we see characters do it, it says something about what they have. And we have lost the ability to understand how that has interplay with the non-physical, because all people are taught in this bullshit that's being pushed is that it is purely this physical gross thing that needs to be like, we're back when you were a toddler and they had people on TV saying shit like this, and now it's the same stuff that's happening now, but it's traveling at that Gen Z speed and making them very, very stupid and very puritanical.
Yeah, I see in chat some good reasons. Boop says they can't afford the boots. I'm not asking to have kids. I know birth control is not always readily available and is being marked as sinful by a certain leader, so I get that. I also think that shouldn't be I get it. I respect it, but I don't think it's reason. I like Jared's. Gen Z gets less asked because half the population wants to be like Andrew Tate. Yeah, sure, but put that aside. I'm just talking about normal. Just talk about normal interactions. I'm talking about you, people in the audience. And I'm not, again, my days are done. Probably retired, Alden. So I get it. But when I heard this story needed to have Making Love to the Dawn. And it seemed like there was a question as to whether that even could happen. And I was like, no, it should happen. Again, under a normal, consensual, connected, positive situation. No Andrew Tate, no money involved. Two human beings connecting on a whirlwind trip in which this might be the only night. That should include Making Love into the Dawn.
Yeah, but with that, I would say that all of that is predicated on them going, and so that's why I think all of these things are connected, because they're not going. Like if you go and have that weekend, the odds of that obviously skyrocket of the aforementioned boot knocking, but they're not going because they've been isolated, and people are telling them that they need to be cut off, and that everybody is their enemy, and that everybody is this and that. Oh, that doesn't matter, and so you combine all of that with a society that now, like, if they were reading a book or watching an old film, that, like, we were on this show talking about The Last of the Mohicans and how there's so much nuzzling and cuddling and neck feeling and everything in that movie. Kids now would just be like, can you give me the 5-minute summary of Last of the Mohicans? And it would skip all of that because it's not relevant, quote unquote. So like all of these things play in. I mean, like Ken Plume is in the chat and he says, like, no, it's mainly societal and economic depression. They're living in a hellscape and you try functioning. And that's true. But at the same time, times like this produce some of the greatest art upswings. I mean, rock and roll is back in a way now that it has not been since 20 years ago under Bush. I mean, like rock and alt rock and true like band driven stuff is happening now again. The visual arts rebelling against AI has caused an upswing in appreciation for seeking out comic artists. I mean, like comic artists have been on the visual forefront of what's been happening with ICE more so than the Democrats, obviously, but more so than even most activist groups discussing like the real visual of what's happening right now. And so with all of that being said, I know that the people are fucking, because you can't listen to like The Last Dinner Party. You can't listen to a new group like Hot and Freddy. You can't listen to Chapel. You can't listen to the new Haley Williams duo project or look at cool metal comics without wanting to fuck a little. So it's like they are there, but the people that are dominating what we are seeing and the data we are gathering are the young Puritans. I think it is all true, but this is their internet now, and we have to accept that it is their internet. And if you don't know that it's their internet, I've got about 1 billion pages of documents that can show you how and why it is. Right. It's like we are been screwed. They took the sex. They took the sex away.
Right.
They took it.
All right. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. The economic things, they were all kind of depressed. I also just think it's not 100%. I think you're all lying to yourself if it's just because you're broke. I think there's also something going on with what you're talking about, where we overcorrected. Sex position in Game of Thrones went from let's not do that because let's not do that to we can't even take Jon Snow's shirt off. You know, like and it's just like I think that's part of where I get grumpy about it. And that under good circumstances, if you're taking this trip, Brady, hotel security better be called on you for noise violations. It's the way I function.
Brady, I agree with you on that. I do think that the overcorrective stuff happened too. I had a great conversation actually with Andy, friend of ours, who contributes to Casterly Talk, wonderful friend, wonderful person, wonderful podcaster. And Andy was saying that they, and just light spoiler for Night of the Seven Kingdoms for anyone who hasn't watched it yet, from the second episode, they didn't like the big Sir Arlen prop penis gag at the beginning because, and they're right about this, they pointed out male frontal nudity has never been played straight or romantically or in a tintillating way. You know, it's always been played as a joke, whereas that is not the true the other way. And yeah, and like we saw like the way that sexuality was there. We're not saying that that's great or we need to go back to that 2011 viewpoint in our art, but the idea that, well, therefore John is a sexless creature, just using John as an example, you know, making them a sexless creature is also is one dimensional in a different way. Like that's also a problem. And like most things, you know, there's different truths, different contexts, etc. But you know, it's interesting.
Male frontal nudity is often not even true. That's obviously not what his not his real wanger. And there's absolute double standards with that. I though think it was great. I think that scene was funny, and I think we all need to laugh a little more too. Says the comic. All right. Next question. That's the answer. All good stuff. I think you're all in your little head. I think a lot of the comments I'm seeing, a lot of you're all in your little head. Y'all need to drink more. Y'all need to fuck more. That's all I'm saying.
You'll get no argument from me. And if you made this a more specific thing, why aren't the staff and producers of Anytime with Ken and Alden knocking boots more? That's a much easier question. That's because we're sad. And we no,
I retired. I'm done. I retired. The gloves on the wall. Uniforms on the wall. I put it in a shadow box. Retired. With the Olympics, do you have a favorite sport? Do you prefer winter or summer? Alden, you're not much of a you're not much of a sport guy, which is another thing. Y'all need to start fucking watching sports and learning lessons from them. Oh my god. I am a big fan of the Olympics. I prefer winter.
As it's been established, I'm not much of a sports guy. And since they did not listen to Chris Jericho's proposal for how to add pro wrestling to the Olympics by having every pair of athletes the same match, I think would be interesting just as an experiment. I will choose winter. I do think it is more enjoyable to watch for the casual. And I will say that I have been absolutely blown away by figure skaters and hockey players, because I think that is just an insane thing to be able to do with any speed whatsoever, let alone the madness that we see at that level. I believe it's Alyssa Liu is the figure skating sensation, who's like the alt rock and roller who came out of retirement and has those insane routines that you can see on her Instagram. Just like Nikki and I were watching those a couple weeks ago, and we were just like, how is it physically possible to do something like that? And so on that level, I always appreciate them.
Figure skating is one of my favorite things. And over the course of many decades watching the Olympics, it's often my favorite thing. In fact, I was really, really, really into the Olympics when the Nancy Kerrigan attack happened. Like I was like watching that day. Like I think figure skating some of the best athletic performances in recorded history, as well as gymnastics on the Summer Olympic side. I was really pulled in by the the Summer Olympic gymnastics competitions in '92 and '96. One of my favorite performers was from the Ukraine. Tatiana Gutsu was on the what was kind of the tail end of the Soviet teams there. That was fun to just get into the athletes pulling off these amazing feats. Was fun to watch, but I don't watch as much. I probably won't be watching the Olympics here. It's costly. I don't know where to get this stuff anymore.
Yeah, everything requires a full. Oh, did you get the Olympic Premium Peacock Platinum Winter? Just to be able to watch, like, it honestly shocks me that they haven't started divvying up the sports into different packages and segment add-ons. That's the next step. You want to watch the team sports package, the solo events package.
No, they've done. I mean, the NFL has done this too. Like it's so costly to be a sports fan, which is, I say watch sports, but it's not like you can just turn on the TV and watch it like you used to. So it's kind of miserable. So maybe you're all right. Don't watch sports. But go keep rolling your natural 20s. The Olympics used to be really fun. It's also the thing my father and I had, which we didn't have a lot of things. So sitting down and watching the Olympics is always a fun memory. All right. We're chugging along here. A few more minutes. We're going to get through this.
I wish I had a father.
Don't worry, Grogo. You will. Okay, the autofocus, and then every time I do that, of course, it's going to focus on my arm. Like, God, what a day! And I have a Force Center. I have a stand-up show tonight. I just want to sleep in bed all day. Ochi Fences, you're granted all expenses paid, flight and trip to see any concert you want. Only rule: you can't see it in your state. Where are you going, and who are you seeing? I mean, I guess I would have loved seeing Oasis go back to Manchester. That would have been it for me. You all?
Yeah. It's the thought you went the same road where it's like you think about the band that you love most, and then you're like, I have to put them in the crowd that makes the most sense for them. So when I read the question, I actually thought I predicted you wrong. I thought, well, Ken's gonna go see U2 in Ireland. I thought that's what you would do, but I was close in that you are going to the UK for a different band that you love so much. Yeah, so that I could see both for you.
Yeah, Matty Gunner, he was there. He took me with him in his heart.
Yeah, Nikki went as well. Charlie went as well. Lots of people got to see that tour. And there's speculation that tour is going to be a live album. I'm not sure if that's been announced or if that's just based on what people have gathered. But it'll be really cool. My favorite band, like I've said, is My Chemical Romance. They're from Jersey, so it's like I could say MCR in Jersey and give them the hometown heroes welcome. I don't. Oh yeah, I apologize for saying that. Yes, you are right.
You were thinking of Ireland. Northern Ireland. You were thinking of Northern,
not the UK.
Yeah.
Well, north of Ireland. That's the other step of that, which is I have to train myself to say north of Ireland instead of Northern Ireland. Anyway, in fairness, I'm pretty sure everybody knew what I meant. But the idea of them in Jersey is, it's, I don't know. I don't want to underplay that, but I would, let's say MCR in Japan. How about that? MCR in Japan. That's what I would do.
Okay, that's a great one. Molly Damon says, "What's the best thing that happened to you this week?" That's big. That this is to try to find the positive. You and I are both having a grumpy show because the tech stuff is just destroying us, including my unfucking focused camera that I can't get up and fix right now. What's the best thing that happened to you this week, Alden?
Do I have to start? What's the best thing that happened to me this week? Well, Well, I worked a job that makes me want to blow my brains out for a few days. So that's not it. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I really don't know. I don't want to be like, I got up. My dog smiled at me. Because it's like, yes, obviously. The new Star Wars book is good, but like we know that. I don't know. I don't know. You go and I'll think.
Okay. Several things this week I'm going to take credit for. I had without getting too personal, over the last week, I had, without thinking about it, cleared some emotional and physical space, even in my house, for new beginnings. That's all I'll say. And I hadn't been holding on to things, but I just didn't realize I had not paid attention to some of the emotional space I was still holding. And I was able to clear some space out. So that was a good thing. On Tuesday, I got officially diagnosed as ADHD and severely depressed. And that is a good thing. So I'm exploring some med options. It doesn't seem like it's something I have to do. It's something that maybe I want to try. And unlike 15 years ago when I had the med option in front of me and I said, no, I'm going to try it. I've got my choices, and I'll keep those personal. But that was a big thing to have that, like, oh, yeah, okay. So that's what's going on. So there's that. And then, that's it. I mean, there's some other good things. I've had a lot of growth this week, a lot of things I've had to face, and I think I faced it well. I also reconnected with two really good friends that I've not lost contact with, but just over the last 8 to 9 years, we just haven't spent as much time around each other. And we went out to an impromptu dinner Wednesday night. And the lesson there, I would literally had these headphones on, was about to record a podcast when they texted me. And I was like, oh, I'm about to record a podcast. And I was like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'll meet you there. Took my headphones off, had a 4-hour dinner that was spectacular.
That's great. That is great. All of that is great. And I've said this to you off air. I'll say it to you again on air. Incredibly proud of you, of course. And I love that. And I think that those initial confirmations of things that maybe you already thought, or just like those points of guidance that come along right at the beginning of that to give clarity and things are some of the, I think, the most like big like exhale moments, right? Like in your life where you're like, okay, all right, it really isn't all in my head. I know that it's a thing that I have and not a thing that I am. And it's sort of like all those things are great. I mean, that's huge. That is huge.
So you have to answer, but also we're going to follow up here. Ken Plume gave us a generous super chat that I can no longer bring up. Oh, that okay. Let's enjoy food this week. Geez, man, can't even bring the what's happening. Oh my gosh. All right, so answer that question. And with what happened to you this week?
I just heard you I heard you in and out like you were underwater for a minute, but
no,
I saw you bring up plumes, and then Molly's came back right after, so I'm not sure which one you were staying on.
I'm having a anymore. So everything's delayed even on my computer end now too. So my career is done. Anyways, what best thing happened to you, but also best food you ate this week?
Best food I ate this week is probably this. What was it? What was the best food I ate this week? I don't know. I had some good cookies the other day. I think you guys got to understand that, like, I drink a lot of coffee, and there are days where I forget to eat. When I eat a lot. That's why I'm fat. But I also, yesterday, I forgot to eat until like 9 at night. So that happens to me a lot. But cookies for sure, I know, slapped this week. The chocolate chip cookies that I had were awesome. So
okay. How many miles do you walk a week?
Well, I live close enough to my day job that I do walk to it. So 5.
Okay.
Then around 5.
Okay.
Something like that.
All right. We're gonna have you double that. We're gonna have you double that. Let's do this. Fit club. We're gonna do fit club.
So many of our problems would be solved if we lived in close proximity to each other. I would not be like those fake friends that you have over there, like Alex Backus, that have the audacity to start families instead of hanging out and going on walks.
Nah, I got my workout buddies. My buddy Jason and I go for a 7-mile walk on Tuesdays when I can. Hal Lublin and I go for about 5 to 7-mile walks on the weekends. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Christian Ruvacaba and I used to do the hiking thing. You're right. This is why we need friends online and all over the world, and we need friends in our own towns. It's I sound like Jordan Peterson, don't I? I'll stop.
Yep. StreamYard just killed Ken. Okay. Maybe now we're back. Who knows anymore? Who knows?
I'm here.
You're back for me.
Yeah. Sorry. I think I'm having also, in addition to our problems, I'm having a computer issue. I'm having my computer is just now at that it doesn't want to work anymore phase. It's just encouraging for what I do. What a day.
What a day indeed. I don't know if you can hear me, but if you can, let me know.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, cool. So we're on the same level of delay then. That's fine. Okay, cool. I didn't answer the best thing that happened to me question because the answer is that I really don't have an answer, but I will steal from the chat that the Muppets special really made me happy for 30 minutes. And that's their job. And they succeeded at it. And it's very good. And I teared up a little watching Kermit walk down the hallway going to his desk because they showed all the black and white photos of past hosts and guests. And it made me sad because we used to have good things. And that Kermit is literally up on stage making jokes about how the future depends on whether or not that special gets enough streaming numbers is very funny, but it is also so damning of our time. Anyway, I know I ended that on a negative note, but that's just how things are right now.
Yeah. No, that's okay. I hear good things about the Muppet Show. I don't know when I'll get taken in, but I do hear good things. That's a good thing. All right. Final. Oh, things I did eat. Trader Joe's has this white queso dip and these basically Trader Joe version of Fritos. And I had a gift card given to me to go to Trader Joe's. And so I stocked up on those and I ate those yesterday. And that's one of my favorite things. So there you go. All right. 2 more super chats and that's it. We got to get out of here. Vulcan Nerd, JMB, money time aside, where do you want to move to? Money or time aside, where do you want to move to? Burbank, California. And I want to have the money to live there.
Ken's like, I've been eyeing a nice slice party in Burbank. It's like across the street from where you are now.
That's what I want.
Oh, I've been trying to live near where the pictures over in Burbank.
Yep. You?
Where to live? I'm just gonna keep it simple and say, maybe London, maybe somewhere like that. I'm not super complicated, but I was happy for the days that I was recently there, or not so recently anymore. And I didn't feel as stressed as I do here, even though I know obviously things are not that great over there right now. So
yeah, okay, yeah. Good answers in chat. Shanghai to see a special person, says Brady. Maddie Moore says Nashville. I do like Nashville. I did eat some banana pudding this week that I love. Plume's right. All right, final one here. Any thoughts on SNL UK with the cast being announced this week? I haven't looked into it. I've always, and I know there's been a lot of different SNLs over the years. Remember was it the Korean SNL? There's one that had a great opening. It's surreal to watch it in other countries. I don't think it's a bad idea. I wouldn't want to take it away from anyone. I just have always I just start your own show. I don't. It's like when I don't like fan films. Like you're gonna raise up all that money and then you're gonna make a Star Wars thing. Go raise up all the money, make your own thing. If we're gonna do comedy shows in other parts of the country, it doesn't have to be SNL. It could make something completely different. So I'm a little grumpy on that, but go for it. I think they should have an SNL UK.
Yeah, my feeling on it is that, you know, the history of British sketch comedy is obviously extremely long and extensive and often iconic. Some of that comedy, in part, you know, helped Lorne birth what he would do, and now he's involved in this. It's his creation again. He's not going to be hands-on in the way that he is in New York, obviously, but it is, you know, official, and you know, that's cool, whatever. I didn't recognize anybody in the cast except for one person, so it's going to be a lot of new for me. That one person I really have only seen some of her stuff. I was a recent follow just randomly, and then a few weeks later she got cast, and I was like, oh, cool, that's that comic that I just saw. So I haven't even really learned like people's names or anything, but I'm excited for it. You know, my prediction that I feel is really safe is this: it will come out, it will be very British. It will be stuff that is geared to the local audience. Americans will be like, this isn't funny. And then British people will be like, actually, it is kind of. And then they will go into the same cycle that American SNL is in, where everybody says that it sucks, except for the people that say that it's great. And whether it lasts for years, who knows? But like we know how it is. Like SNL is always, wow, it's so bad, it's so over now. And they've been saying that since, you know, season 3. So we'll see what happens, but I'll give it a try. I'll check it out for sure.
First of all, I'm always happy. Like, I'm always happy when people can get work. We need work in this business. So there's 11 people in the cast, 18 writers. This is work for people. So I think it's all good. I was just scrolling with I don't like any of their pictures. I don't like wacky headshots. I don't like any. There's two or three people playing it straight in their headshots. What are we doing? Wacky comedy headshots. I'm kidding. They all look great. But it's like with AEW, I do not think AEW is great. I know you love it, but it provides jobs for people that need it and has some great moments. So I think it should get only bigger. I just think the wrestling's a little indie, but important thing is great jobs. Great jobs.
By the way, the person that I was thinking of is Anya Magliano. I followed her on Instagram, and then she got cast. So I wish success for her. She's my new favorite by default because she's the only one that I know. I mean, like the AEW comparison is good, honestly, because it's like it's you know, you need Pepsi, right? Like you need a Pepsi. And I'm not saying that SNL UK is going to be the alternative to standard SNL because they are both Lorne things. But if it can at all, like you said, create jobs and show people that sketch is still a valid art form, that is its own art form, separate from what happens in reels and different things like that, then that's good. That's a net good.
A net positive. Unlike this episode, which you and I are both going to take our computers and throw them into the ocean, take our internet, just our internet, and throw it into the ocean. Thank you all for those who hung with us today, because this has been difficult to get through on our end, because it's just I can't even hear what's going on. Alden can't hear me. It's a thing. I appreciate your questions and your super chats. It's really great, really grand. Alden, any final words from you?
My final words are: you should do what I've been doing lately, which is blast your Congress people via email and calls. They work for you. You should treat them like garbage at your earliest opportunity. And be well. The Super Bowl is this weekend, which means we'll probably have a Star Wars trailer. So that's exciting. And go whoever's facing the Patriots.
The Seahawks. There you go. That's it. We did it. Questions asked, questions answered. We appreciate you all. We'll try to do this again. We love you. Bye.